All right. So we are live. Welcome everybody to the webinar today. My name is Ann Griesel with the CALS. Oh, sorry, just a second. Just a second. Okay, that'll help. Sorry, I'm in both places. So my name is Ann Griesel with the CALS and LAS web team, and I just wanted to start out with a couple housekeeping things, and then Christy's going to introduce our guest speakers for today. So first of all, we are about 20 seconds faster than what is being streamed to YouTube, just FYI. What we've decided is that this will probably be the last webinar that we're going to use live streaming. So we have found a couple things that are problematic. Number one, it's really hard to leave a comment if it requires you to have like an account. So we don't want people, we don't want you all to be blocked by that. Also, you can't leave links in the chat. It's some kind of a YouTube like policy or something. So I assume that it has to do with security or that kind of thing. So that is also hard because we like to share links in our chat. So we're going to go ahead and go back to like normal Zoom meetings after this. And we've decided that since June, a lot of us like Christy and I and Josh are all going to be taking vacations and things like that. And we have 4th of July coming up, that our next one will be after the 4th of July. And so watch for that in your inbox. And then we will go every 2 weeks after that. We will be giving webinars. So just that's how we'll kind of roll in the future. But we're all excited for you to be here. And Christy, please do introductions.
Yeah, so like Ann said, thank you for joining us today. We have Leah Feltz, who's an extension and outreach social media specialist. She's going to start us off by sharing just some simple practices that can help you create a stronger Facebook experience for your followers. And then our second presenter is Jody Gatewood, and she works with Extension and Outreach as an assistant state nutrition program specialist. Oof, that's a long title. And she is going to provide an example of how the Spend Smart, Eat Smart team has used Facebook Live to continue engagement and connections with their clients during the pandemic. They've done a spectacular job, so I'm excited to hear how they got there and how it's worked out for them. So go ahead, Leah, whenever you're ready.
Unmute it first, that helps. I'm gonna share my screen shortly. I do have a few slides. It just helps me stay on track with my message. So yeah, again, my name is Leah Feltz, and I am the social media specialist for Iowa State University Extension and Outreach. A big piece of my job is managing the social media platforms for Extension and Outreach. Our biggest would be Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And then I also provide support to specialists like Jody, who have an extension page, as well as our county offices. We have obviously 99 counties, but we have 100 county offices. All of those have some level of presence on social media. Most offices have multiple pages that they have, maybe a main extension page, a 4-H page, and who knows whatever else. So providing as much support and updates as I can. So again, today I'm just going to talk a little bit about some ways that you can increase engagement utilizing social media. I'm going to specifically focus in on Facebook, but quite a bit of what we talk about does translate well to other social media platforms. It doesn't look like, in my view, that I can see comments, but oh wait, yeah, there's the chat box at the bottom. So if there is anything that I can expand on, just feel free to throw that in the chat or interrupt me if able. So I'm going to share my screen. First off, we're actually going to start by looking at the Iowa State Extension page. This page is going to look a little different right now than what you would see as a viewer, because you're getting my view as the content creator. So some key things when you have a platform, specifically one that you're managing on behalf of your organization, is branding. Things to look at are a quality image for your profile picture, I have a video currently, but quality image for your banner. And then on your right-hand side, you also have the opportunity to add into this little Our Story area, adding in a photo for ours, it's the campaign we started this year of Iowans value. And then add just a little bit in that story area that if someone was brand new to this page and our platform, they could get some more information. But those are three really key just basics of a social media platform, is having strong branding, quality images, things that are going to be seen and respected by a new user. So we'll bounce out of that. Another thing I do want to show is on our main extension homepage, we do have our Twitter feed that is embedded so that anybody visiting our homepage will also get to see some of the social media posts that we're putting out through Twitter. So those were just two things I kind of wanted to cover before jumping into some of the slides I've got. Let me switch over my screen share. So we're going to jump into kind of a condensed version of a training that I've offered to some of our extension staff. So jumping into the content of this, it's important to start by, I've got a bug in front of me. It's important to lay the foundation that social media is evidence of your success, but it's not where you create all of your success. So sometimes we can get really hung up on having a strong social media platform, making sure we're posting all these things, and just kind of can get a little either frustrated with not being able to do those things, or feeling overwhelmed at doing those. But just as a reminder that social media is a support of the great work you do, but not necessarily where it all ends and begins. So know that even if you haven't been able to put the time that you wanted to put into social media, that's okay. Your success is typically built elsewhere, not just through that social media platform. Couple definitions that are very helpful, whether you're new to social media for your organization or you've been on it for a while, making sure that you understand these words: engagement, reach, and impressions. So brief overview: engagement is any action that someone takes on your page, like liking or reacting to your post, they're commenting, sharing, checking in at your location, or tagging you in a post that they've created. All of those are going to be called an engagement, and if you dive into your analytics at any point, that's what engagement is going to be pulling from. Another word that you'll see a lot is reach, and reach will often look like a really high number and can feel kind of exciting, but reach is just the people that saw your content or your ads at least once. So that means I'm sitting on my couch in the evening and I'm scrolling through. At some point through my scrolling, your content was in front of my eyes. That does not mean that I liked it or read it or in any way interacted with it. It just literally means I scrolled past you at least once. And then similarly, impressions is the number of times your post or ad was on screen, and you'll have duplicates. So whereas reach would count me once if I saw your post, let's say you posted, one of our posts recently was about storing apples. So as I'm scrolling through, if that post, if I see it at 10 a.m. and then I scroll again through at night and I see that same post again, that will, for reach, it would count me once. But impressions, that would say, hey, she saw this post twice. So there would be duplicates on that. So again, I check monthly on our analytics and I keep track of those, and it's helpful for me to know what posts are being engaged with the most and people are enjoying, because then I can put more of that content out. Whereas reach and impressions, those numbers will often look really high, but all that means is somebody scrolled past it. Doesn't necessarily mean that they enjoyed it, reacted to it, commented, engaged in any way. So at the bottom, it's kind of engagement is greater than reach is greater than impression. So engagement's the one that we really get excited about and can help you when you're figuring out what to post and what people are going to interact with. Engagement is the number that you're looking for. Also understanding the limitations of social media, that you have a journey that you need to invite people into and give them time to experience. So our engagement journey for our followers begins with viewing content, meaning, again, going back to that impression, they've scrolled through and they've seen your stuff. They might see it because their aunt has interacted with it, or they follow another page similar to your page, and their algorithms have linked you guys together. So at some point they're seeing you, they'll move into some small sign of support, like following your page or liking your page. Then they'll move into some engagement where maybe they're going to comment or share, moving into some sort of experience where maybe they are really interacting with something you put on. Maybe they're sharing something you've put on with an extension. That might mean that they're signing up for a program we offer. And then that last stage of the journey is when they're ready to advocate for you. They're sharing your content with other people. They're encouraging other people to follow and like and really interact with your brand, your organization. So that's a very condensed version of this journey, but ultimately understanding that sometimes people will stick on one of these points for a long time. So you might have a small following of people on your page and very little interactions like likes or shares. But that doesn't mean that they're not on the journey. They just might be stuck in one place. So not letting yourself get discouraged, even if you're not seeing a lot of likes, comments, those things. Networking is going to be a huge way to build authority and also have just consistency in being visible as your brand. So for us, Extension and Outreach, we look at our alpha audience and we say this is a small collective of your most loyal brand ambassadors. The people that are most likely to interact on my page or the page that I manage for Extension Outreach are often people that work at the county offices for Extension. So I'm making sure that I'm giving content that they will want to interact with, like, share, comment on. I'm intentional. I'm making sure, obviously my job, my sole job is social media. So for me, it's not hard to be intentional because I'm paid to be intentional. Whereas some of you, you probably balance a lot of things on your plate that you might have to literally set aside 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon to make sure that you're creating a post to share. Or if you're not able to create a post, you can reshare from another trusted page, or you can just even make sure that you're getting on. So if anybody did comment on a previous post, that you are able to actually respond to them and interact with them. So be intentional about putting some time into your platform and making sure that you're interacting and being there for whoever your alpha audience is. Follow those that you admire and don't be timid. So I follow many other extension organizations throughout the United States. Every state has an extension organization and I follow them. By following them, I can interact with their content. I can also see what they have going for them. And if I see something that's working really well, how can I emulate that? What's the sincerest form of copying's the most sincerest form of flattery, right? So making sure that you're following other organizations that overlap with you, following other pages within even our organization of Iowa State. I follow a lot of you guys and what you're posting so that I can stay in tune to our brand and our organization as a whole. The don't be timid part is don't hesitate to react or engage as your organization. So I will like and sometimes even comment on other pages that share what we post. So if somebody say it's a county office shares our content, an extension county office, I might comment on that share and say, it's a great time of year to be outdoors, in your county, or it looked rainy yesterday. Maybe you guys weren't out yesterday, but making sure you're having those interactions. People love to feel seen. And if they feel seen by you, they're much more likely to engage with you in the future. Be authentic. So through Facebook specifically, it used to be really easy for brands to reach their audience or larger organizations to reach their audience. It's not so much anymore. People want authenticity specifically within Facebook. So the more that you can interact, that you can show that even though you might be sharing something that's a nicely branded document or image, still creating some human feel through what you're writing in your post, or even just sharing some of those candid shots when you're able to. Those things are going to be really valuable to growing your audience. And last, say thank you. Like I said earlier, if somebody shares about us or tags us, I make sure to react to that post. At the bare minimum, I go and like it. I might even go further and comment back. All right, so as we talk about having content and creating posts, this can be the hardest. This is probably the hardest part about managing a profile for an organization, is making sure that you have content that's consistent and that's going to connect with your audience. So kind of those 3 C's: content that is connecting with others and is consistent. Consistency wise, it doesn't even honestly need to be daily. Facebook used to really value the number of times you posted, but the way it works now is it's really quality. They want people react to quality content, and the more they react to your content, the more they see your content. So you can be posting once a day, 2 times a week, 3 times a week. As long as you are consistently putting out content that connects, you will be able to keep the audience you have and build from there. When you're putting content out, make sure that you're, again, being that human, and that you are posting something that is going to cause people to feel something. It can be a good, happy, or it can make me feel something like actions needed, just something that causes me to feel. And then also the third bullet point is when you're thinking of how to build a post, these 4 things are really helpful. Build a post that does either one of these 4 things or multiple of these 4 things. You need to be informing people with your post, entertaining them with your post, educating them with your post, or inspiring. And sometimes it can be multiples of those. 2 examples that I've got up from our extension specialists. The first one is a tweet, and it's actually a few years old, but I love using this one because our wildlife specialist, Adam, did a great job of posting about chronic wasting disease, which is seen in deer. And it was December 24th. So he talks about chronic wasting disease, but he's also talking about, the North Pole and Santa's reindeer. So he kind of plays off of this real world thing that he's posting about, making sure he's involved in this conversation as a wildlife specialist, but he's coming at it from that entertaining angle of, Santa's reindeer are okay. None of them, the North Pole, we haven't seen any chronic wasting disease in the North Pole. And he's one of our specialists that does a great job of really engaging his audience. The lower post is from our Science of Parenting specialists, and they have begun a podcast, and they do videos of their podcasts, and they do once a month a live stream of their podcast. So this one was a post specifically about COVID-19 in your kids. They decided to be responsive, and instead of just having their normal pre-recorded scheduled ones, they went with this bonus episode. So they start off right away with have questions about COVID-19 in your kids. Well, again, if we think their alpha audience, their main audience is absolutely going to be parents because it's called the Science of Parenting. And something culturally relevant like COVID-19, as a parent, I had a lot of fear and worry and concern. So that reading have questions about COVID-19 in your kids, immediately I feel something. I feel that worry, that concern as a parent, and that causes me to want to tune in. You'll notice on their post as well, the copy, what's written is short, does provide an additional link if I'd like to learn more. And then there is an image, and it's very important to have some image with your copy on Facebook. People really respond to that. We're almost done with mine. Accessible content for all. I know this is near and dear to Christy's heart, but I make sure that anytime I do training with our extension staff that I'm always encouraging them to pursue more accessible content. You can do alt text on every platform, whether you're on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. You can do alt text for your images. And also something that I learned just earlier this year, I believe it was Cindy Wiley that did a training, but the camel caps, where you have any hashtag you use, that you use a capital letter for if you have more than one word in your hashtag. So that's something that we've consistently been doing across our platforms, is that first letter being uppercase in each word of a hashtag, to make sure that an e-reader would read those as separate words as opposed to one jumbled mess that doesn't make sense. For our extension staff, we have quite a few webinars, and I know that a lot of that information is also available outside of just extension within other platforms. So just kind of trying to recap, I talked a lot and I probably talked really fast. Don't worry, again, it's not blank number of posts in one day. That's not your goal anymore. Your goal is, again, that consistent content that is connecting with your audience. Effort is valued. So that is really nice because people don't care as much. I mean, obviously you want a nice looking image, but it doesn't have to look like a professional photographer or a videographer took the content. People are valuing effort. And I would actually say, even right now during this pandemic, effort has been even more valued because people understand we're all limited. So right now, my Wi-Fi connection might break in or out, but people aren't really upset about it the way that they might used to have felt a little inconvenienced. Right now, we just have a lot of value on doing our best. Stop broadcasting, worry about interacting. So don't worry about reaching this massive amount of people. Really interact with the people that are already there, that alpha audience that we talked about. And that's how you'll grow, is pay attention to the people right in front of you. And remember, bigger is not better. You don't have to have, these massive quality promotions, these massive ad campaigns. Build your audience, get interactive as you can, figure out what they connect with. And then that's when you can start moving into, okay, maybe we need to put some more money into this. But everything else I've shared up until this point has been free. Nothing has cost you a dime. I'm going to stop this share and just very quickly share one more tip that I have found valuable, and then make sure Jody gets time. So one nice way that if you already do have a platform, then one way to continue to grow your platform is make sure that you're inviting more people to like your page. So underneath on your right hand side, you're going to have an option for inviting your friends. Now, depending if you have or multiple people that oversee this, or that are admins or editors on this page, all of you could do this and invite your friend group. Sometimes you might not want to just blanket invite all of your friends. Maybe you want to be a little more specific. When you go in, you can actually select which friends get invited, or you can click select all, and any of your friends you haven't invited, you can then send invite to. As you can see, all of my friend list has already been invited. It's something I do pretty consistently. Number one, because I strongly believe in my organization, and I believe that everything we have has value to everyone, no matter living in Iowa or outside of Iowa. I also enjoy sharing that typically the first 2 likes I get on anything I post for Extension Outreach is from my dad and my best friend. They are my #1 fans, and they interact with content just because they support me. And sometimes that's the ball that you need to get rolling, is people interacting with your content. And that could be a close friend or even a family member. And another thing to think about too, that I do consistently, so I'm not sure we're going to see it, but when you have a post that has a higher number of likes or reactions, if you click on those likes or reactions, it pulls up a second screen, and then you can see who's already liked your page. And if they haven't liked your page, you can actually invite them. So, and again, I do this consistently, but if they had not liked your page, it would say invite, and it would be in black and catch your attention a little bit more. And you'd be able to click that and send that person an invite. It's important to do this consistently because chances are if they've interacted with one of your posts, that they'd probably interact with more of your posts. So making sure that they get that invite to your page to engage with them a little bit more often. All right, so I'm going to stop my share. Again, I know that I said a lot of things. If there's anything that I can go back to, otherwise I will throw my email address in the comments, and that way, if there was anything else that you guys wanted me to expand on, or if you're just interested in chatting a little bit more, I'd be happy to do that. So I tried to cram as much as I can into a little bit, but I'm going to send it on to Jody now.
All right. So thanks everybody for joining, and I need to have, it looks like I need to have my video started.
Yeah, so with that, you should see a little start video in the bottom of the Zoom.
It says I can't start it because it was stopped. Sorry about that.
Oh, bummer. Oh, come on. There we go. I just asked to start it. Does it?
There we go.
There we
Here
go. Sorry about that, Jody. All right.
Not a problem. All right. So thanks everybody for having me. And I'm going to share a little bit and build off of what Leah shared. And so as Christy said, I am a Assistant State Nutrition Program Specialist for Extension. And so I work specifically within Human Sciences Extension, and nutrition is the area that I work with. And so to give you a little background, I'm going to share a website that I work with. So the website that I work with is called Spend Smart, Eat Smart. And so this is a consumer website providing nutrition information, recipes, videos, information about eating well on a budget. And so we've had this website for, probably since 2008, 2009. And so this is where a lot of our content is, where we share information. And you can see here that we have videos. And so these videos are ones that we have had a videographer from the College of Human Sciences that's able to has been able to help us put together. And so these are what you would call professionally done ones, as Leah was talking about. And that's how we've been doing most of our videos. But Leah has been encouraging us to do some Facebook Lives and to do some other types of education, not just the professional ones that we have done. And so we were spurred on by COVID-19 and working from home to jump into this. And so now I am showing you our Facebook page. And so this is one of the social media platforms that we are on. This is the one that we use most often. We also have Twitter and Pinterest. But with, again, working from home, and wanting to connect more online, we brainstormed some ideas, and thankful for Leah to helping us as well. And so what we decided to do is each 3 days of the week, we were going to have some specific type of content that we would have on our Facebook page. Usually what we post on Facebook has to do with our blog. So we write a weekly blog called Spend Smart, Eat Smart that shares tips, again, on eating well on a budget. And then the posts that we use on our Facebook relate to that content. But when we were working from home and wanting to add some more content, we decided that we were going to ramp up our presence. And so what we decided, like I said, is 3 times a week, each day we were going to have a specific type of content that we released in addition to our blog. And so on Mondays, we released, we called it Make It Monday. And so we released a video. So this wasn't a live, but this was a video. And so you can see an example here of one that was recently released about one of our recipes. And so this is one of our nutrition educators, and she is providing a video that she did in the extension office in Marshalltown about making the crunchy apple roll up. And so as Leah shared, we've done those professional videos, and now, like she said, it's about interacting and showing that human side and the effort that's put forward. And so this was done just by an iPad. We were able to have, we have some staff that are able to help us do some editing. And so you might have noticed at the beginning, to help brand it, we do add a little extension picture or slide at the beginning. We are able to add some videos like that, or the graphic of the professional taken shot of the recipe. And then Grizel goes in and does her video. And so that is what we did on Mondays. So our audience knew that each Monday we would be releasing a video related to a recipe. And we know that with everybody working at home, it was something that people were looking forward is recipes. We weren't going out to eat and things like that. And so we got a lot of engagement with that because of the interest in cooking at home and simple, easy recipes. Then on Wednesdays, we did Workout Wednesday. And so I have an interest in physical activity as well. And so each Wednesday I would do a short workout, 10 to 15 minutes, stretching, some little physical activity, cardio. Again, because we were inside just wanting to help people get active, do some stretching. And so you can see, again, one of those videos that we did there. And so it was, or not a video, this was a Facebook Live, but then now it can be, put on our social media. And so this is done with my phone. I had not done this before. Again, it was encouraged that we do it. And so we jumped right in when we started working from home to do them. And so it was a learning curve for me, not having done a Facebook Live, but I'm thankful to Leah and Kristen Taylor and some others that were able to help me. Branding is important. And so I did wear some sort of Iowa State clothing and to try to do my brand that way. So, thinking about what I have in my house and how I can brand the videos, even though that they are from home. And then the other thing that we did to get people involved and engaged in our Facebook page was Fit Fam Friday. And so hopefully you can see this video. This is myself with my 2 children. And so each Friday we did, again, a short physical activity that kids could do that was fun with kids. And when you want to talk about the human side and what it was like at home and connecting with people, my children definitely gave that. You can see them there being quite lively, but we know that parents and others were feeling that well with their kids at home as well, not in school. And so we did these. Again, they weren't very long, just maybe a 10 or 15-minute Fit Fam Friday, and we're able to chat and communicate on the Facebook Live, and then we post them on the videos, our video on our Facebook page, so people can go back as well. And again, branding, again, Iowa State shirts, football shirts, anything that could help us brand with extension. The one thing to note, Leo talked, you can see there as far as like the reach and the engagements. As far as the Facebook Lives, the first part of when we were, self-isolating in March, April, we had pretty, good activity or people logging on to the Facebook Lives. But after, a couple weeks or so, I would say we had a core maybe 10, 15 people that would join. So our numbers were large with the Facebook Lives, but you can see that once we posted them, they got quite a bit of engagement. And so we still thought they were valuable. They still added a lot to our Facebook page. People still engaged with them. But we're not, it's the first time we did it, and something we'll continue to learn from. But we did have, our engagement or watching the videos did pick up a lot more after they were posted on our Facebook page. And I think, things to think about too is the time, like if this is something that you're interested in doing or thinking about, thinking about the time. We did I did the workout Wednesdays at noon. So knowing people are on their lunch break and could do it. And our Fit Fam Fridays we did at 10 a.m. So kind of that middle morning of the break. So I think the thing to think about if this is something that you want to explore or look into is just really think about, capacity to do it. So for our Facebook page, like I said, we write a blog, and that is where we get our content. So really using our content in multiple places. We're pulling from our Facebook page, we're writing blogs, but then that content gets posted onto our Facebook page. And so think about the capacity. I'm not the only one. I'm the one that did the lives, but as you can see, we had our educators that helped with some of the videos. And then my colleagues, Christine Roddick, Justine Hoover, Katie Moscoso, they all work with us to write the blogs and create the videos. And so moving forward, we no longer do the Facebook Lives. We have ended those, but we do plan, because what we know and what we've learned and just a lot of engagement that we've gotten from the videos, we do plan to continue doing a lot more at-home videos. And so we're, as we plan out our blogs that we're going to write, we're thinking about videos that we can make to go along with those blogs that are, again, we're just doing them with our phones. We do a little bit of editing to them, but we're not waiting till that once or twice a year when we do professional videos to create more videos. We're, doing a lot more that we're able to do from home. And so, for example, this is one that my supervisor just recently did about one of our recipes in a blog that we wrote. And so we do plan to continue to do this and to engage with our audience on Facebook with videos. And I think also we will, when the time is right, or when, when we want to pick up and do some more Facebook Lives now that we're more comfortable with it. It is something that we will explore and look to do more of in the future. So I'm going to stop sharing, but I'm open to questions, or if there's other things, Anne or Leah or Josh or Christy, you would like me to share, let me know.
Awesome. That was so wonderful, you guys. Thank you so much. Christy, did you have anything extra to share for today?
I do not. Thank you guys, Leah and Jody, both for sharing. It looks like we had about 25 participants on YouTube Live. So we can put your email, Leah, in the YouTube Live so that people can see that if you'd like. Okay. All right. Thank you guys. That's all I have.